And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. And he cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth. Verses 1 through 3. A cloud. Our first defining characteristic of the angel is that he is associated with a cloud. The occurrences of the word cloud in Revelation, verses 1:7, 11:12, 14:14, 15, and 16. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. Revelation 1:7. The one associated with clouds in this text is Jesus, for this is a picture or description of the second coming. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle, and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Revelation 14:14 through 16. The one associated with a cloud in this text is also Jesus, for once again this is a picture or description of the second coming. And they heard a great voice from heaven, saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Revelation 11:12. The they in this text is the written word, the scriptures or Bible, as opposed to the living word, Christ Jesus, elsewhere referred to as the two witnesses, in the surrounding text, Revelation 11:3 through 13. The imagery of Revelation 11:12 references Christ's return to heaven at the end of his earthly ministry, Acts 1:9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. This text differs greatly from the previous two, because although the one associated with a cloud in the text is also Jesus, yet it is not him himself in person, but is representative, the Bible. Furthermore, this is not a picture or description of the second coming, but of the return to heaven, a symbolic return or magnifying of the Bible. So all three texts are in agreement in associating a clouds with Jesus. And our core text, verses 1 through 3, reads, Come down from heaven. Thus we are dealing with some type of second coming. A rainbow. Our second defining characteristic of the angel is that he is associated with a rainbow. The occurrences of the word rainbow in Revelation. Only one. Verse 4:3. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. Revelation 4:3. The one associated with a rainbow in this text is God, the Father, and he is pictured in the judgment. The only other place that such a picture of God is given is in Ezekiel. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about, as the appearance of the bow, that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. Ezekiel 1:26-28. So the Bible is in agreement in associating a rainbow with God, which does not conflict with our previous findings that the angel is Jesus, as Jesus is God the Son. And our text in Revelation points to this being in the context of the judgment. A lion. A third defining characteristic of the angel is that he has lion-like characteristics. The occurrences of the word lion in Revelation, verses 4:7, 5:5, 9:8 and 17, and 13:2. And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast like a calf, and the third beast had a face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. Revelation 4:7. The lion-like beast or creature, the first of four like creatures, each of which is one aspect of Christ's fourfold nature. The lion as king, the calf as servant sacrifice, the man as man human, and the flying eagle as God divinity. And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the seven seals thereof. Revelation 5:5. Jesus as King in the judgment. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. Revelation 9:8. I have no idea what the significance of this is, but this is the Muslims under the fifth trumpet. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth, and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Revelation 9:17. Once again, I have no idea what the significance of this is, but this is the Muslims under the sixth trumpet. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Revelation 13:2. The sea beast, otherwise known as the Antichrist, the first of four beasts, four so-called Christian powers: the sea beast, the land beast, or lamb-like beast, the image beast, and the beast from the abyss, or scarlet beast of Revelation 17. A lion beast, the first of four. Another lion beast, the first of four. I don't know, but it is the Muslims. And once again, I don't know, but it is the Muslims. A chiasm? It seems like it. The lion-like beast, the first of four aspects of Christ: lion, king, calf, servant sacrifice, man, flying eagle, God. The sea beast, Antichrist, the first of four Christian powers: the sea beast, the land beast, the image beast, and the abyss beast. Who knows? The Muslims. Who knows? The Muslims. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the seven seals thereof. Revelation 5:5. And he had in his hand a little book open, and cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, seven thunders uttered their voices. Revelation 10:2 and 3. Revelation 5:5 reads, "Open the book." And Revelation 10:2 and 3 reads, "A little book open." Open books are associated with judgment in Daniel and Revelation. Daniel 7, 9, 10, 13, and 14, specifically verse 10. Revelation 4 and 5, specifically verses 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. And Revelation 20, 4 through 6, 12, and 13, specifically verse 12. Jesus the King, the judgment. Implies Jesus the King, the judgment. Jesus the King, the judgment. Jesus the King, the judgment, or some type of judgment. It can't be emphasized enough. The structure implies that some type of judgment is taking place in Revelation 10, and Jesus is involved, with the book of Daniel as the basis for the judgment. We need to return to the cloud and reanalyze that study, the verses involved. Recall the occurrences of the word cloud in Revelation, verses 1:7, 11:12, 14:14, 15, and 16. Jesus the second coming. Jesus the second coming. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and he had in his hand a little book open. Revelation 10, 1 and 2. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Revelation 11:12. The written word, a symbolic return to heaven. But Revelation 10, 1 and 2 mentions a little book, which we have seen is the book of Daniel. The prophetic word, a symbolic second coming. The written word, a symbolic return to heaven. The prophetic word, a symbolic second coming. It can't be emphasized enough. The structure, once again, plays a major part in the understanding of this text, for it implies that the prophetic word, the book of Daniel, is central to what is happening in Revelation 10. We are dealing with a coming of Christ, but not himself in person, but in the person of his representative, the prophetic word, the book of Daniel. His face was as it were the sun, our last defining characteristic of the angel. The occurrences of the phrase, his face was as it were the sun, in the New Testament. It does not occur in Revelation outside of our core text, Revelation 10, 1 through 3. Only one, Matthew 17:2. Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death, till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. And after 6 days, Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with him. While he, Peter, yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Matthew 16:28 through 17:5. Revelation 10, 1 through 3's, his face as it were the sun, literally is, the face of him like the sun. While Matthew 16:28 through 17:5's, his face did shine as the sun, literally is, shone the face of him like the sun. Matthew 16:28 through 17:5 reads, The Son of Man coming in his kingdom. indicating that the text is a representation of the second coming of Christ. The "they" of Revelation 11:12, the two witnesses, are the Moses and Elias or Elijah of Matthew 16:28 through 17:5. Summarizing what we have learned: a cloud and his face as it were the sun refer to the second coming of Christ, a symbolic coming, as the prophetic word, the book of Daniel, in love. The book of Daniel being the Old Testament revelation of Jesus Christ, Revelation 1:1. We should pause here a moment now to clarify this love aspect of the interpretation. We need to look at the 7 churches of Revelation 2 and 3, specifically at Philadelphia and Laodicea, the 6th and 7th churches respectively. Comparing Revelation 10 to them, the angel from heaven is Jesus, God the Son. And Philadelphia, a combination of philos, love, and adelphos, brother, means brotherly love. But God is love, 1 John 4:8. And 1844, time no longer, the mystery should be finished, the 7th angel begins to sound, the end of the 2300 days, introduces the judgment, or the cleansing of the sanctuary. But Laodicea, a combination of laos, people, and dike, judgment, means judgment of the people, or a people judged. Returning to our summary, a rainbow, a lion, and a little book open refer to God the Son in the judgment, a pre-judgment judgment, the standard being the book of Daniel. Postscript. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and a half. Daniel 12:7. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever and ever, that there should be time no longer. Revelation 10:5 and 6. As mentioned in the previous part of this study, note the striking similarities in the two texts. 1. Revelation speaks of the angel being upon the sea and upon the earth, and Daniel of the man clothed in linen being upon the waters of the river. 2. Revelation's angel lifted up his hand to heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever and ever, and Daniel's man clothed in linen held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever. And 3. Revelation's angel speaks of time no longer, and Daniel's man clothed in linen of a time, times, and a half. But the man clothed in linen of Daniel 12:7 is Jesus. This is readily seen when one compares the descriptions of the two as given in Daniel 10:5 and 6 and Revelation 1:13 through 16. This would imply from the start that the angel of Revelation 10 is Jesus. We have exhausted another direction of study, and so it is time to examine the structure we have obtained thus far.